Sterling Holmes of Fansided, joined now by Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, and a great actor, Clay Matthews. Clay, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing outstanding right here, and I'm doing better because I see you here. You got Lowe's right there. You have a nice background because Lowe's is designing the draft green room, and it's going to be a little different. You didn't quite have this when you were picked in the first round. What is Lowe's building right here?
It's actually remarkable. Everybody will get the opportunity, hopefully tomorrow, with the behind the scene views with all the draftees, the lounge chairs, the accoutrements. Might I say, if I can make myself sound more sophisticated, but everything here is at Lowe's. You can buy it yourself, but I think it's just amazing what they've done, kind of giving off that cigar lounge, comfortable vibe with all the draftees. So it'll be great. They've done a phenomenal job. Like you had alluded to, 2009 when I was drafted, I did not attend the draft. I was a fringe first, second round guy. Luckily, slipped into the first round there. But being a part of it now is truly remarkable. Just to seeing all the effort that goes and manpower that goes into this, and then for it to be in Green Bay, where I had a 10-year career here in Green Bay, is remarkable. And I think it's only fitting that Green Bay hosts the draft with how much this organization, this city means to the NFL. So I'm excited for not only for me to be a part of this, but for everyone else to see what we have in store, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, from walk-on to Packers Hall of Famer, now you're getting tabbed to do this. What does this mean for you, the city just embracing you like this?
It's awesome. I hadn't been back to Green Bay for several years after my career ended, and I went back. And I just assumed I was going to get treated like anybody else. And I forgot that people still know me up here. I don't know if I was naive to thinking that. So it's awesome. I'm supposed to be walking around with credentials, but I'm on a handshake basis out here. So, but I love the city of Green Bay, not only the Packers and the Packers organization, what they meant to me, my family, and the better part of my life at that time when I retired, but also the people here, the support I get, the blue collar mentality. So I love it. I'm excited that the draft is here. I hope everyone has a blast and benefits from it.
I mean, it's the Luscious locks. That's what gives it away. You have just the Luscious locks, which, by the way, as a man who had hair to my shoulders at one point playing sports in high school, right? But the NFL's different. I've always wondered, is there an unwritten rule of not pulling someone's hair? Because I feel like it doesn't happen as often as it should, or maybe it does and we just don't see it.
See, I always, I had the bottle of water. I was greasing it up, slicking it back. So I never really had to worry about it. But occasionally, if it sat right here, it would get grabbed. But that's part of having long hair. I'm sure the same happened with Polamalu or anyone else. In fact, I was just reminiscing with somebody had asked the same question. Did your hair ever get pulled? I said, not really, but I did tackle someone from Detroit by their dreads one time. I had to apologize. I didn't mean to. We're in this boat together, but it happens every once in a while.
Oh man, I would have figured then he tells his teammates, "Hey, you got to get Clay back. You got to grab that
player." Yeah,
yeah, when you watch the evolution of the linebacker position from when you first came into now, we're seeing a resurgence of the running back in the NFL. And part of me is thinking, well, because linebackers have gotten lighter, they've gotten leaner, they're more focused on coverage versus stopping the run. Have you noticed that change, that shift, or where do you see the linebacker position currently at in 2025?
Yeah, I think that started when I got in the league. I think those big Urlacher style linebackers. Now Urlacher could do it all. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. But those type of monsters that you see in the middle who can thump fullbacks, you're not seeing fullbacks anymore. You're seeing spread offense. They want to get speed on speed. And so those linebackers, I mean, they're anywhere from 220 to 230. Maybe you got some guys in the 240s, but you got to be able to run, cover, rush the running back, and kind of do it all. There's no two down backers. You got to be able to do it all. So you definitely see positions evolving. Tight end's one of them as well. But like you had mentioned, running back. I mean, now there's a premium on running back after you saw what Saquon did, Jacobs, and obviously Henry over there in Baltimore. That you got Genty coming out, and you're like, well, wait a second. If he can give us that level of production for whatever team drafts him, then that's a steal. So. But it's good to see positions being valued because every position has its own right and they all contribute to the ultimate team game.
Is there a certain linebacker you watch right now in the NFL that really catches your eye? And also, obviously, do you just watch the linebacker when you play? Like us normal people, we're watching the football. We're watching the quarterback. We're watching where the ball goes. Are you just so hyper-focused on linebacker?
Well, now that I'm a normal person too, I enjoy watching the game in and of itself. But I do tend to watch pass rushers. So maybe not so much off the ball backers. I do appreciate
Sure.
what they bring to it. But Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby, some of these guys just Hendrickson from Cincinnati. Some of these guys just coming off the edge, and Watt, Miles Garrett. I mean, I can go down the list. Like, it's fun to watch, and especially now. I mean, these guys are getting close to 20 sacks. It's remarkable what they're capable of doing, and how great some of these players have maintained throughout their career. So those are the guys, difference makers, who I enjoy watching, and then of course oohing and awing whenever they get a payday.
I asked this to Puka Nakua because he has a huge alumni family as well. Obviously, your family is littered with alumni. Was Thanksgiving football in the backyard just super intense? Was it just the most intense pickup game you've ever seen?
It was a pickup game, but it was basketball. We played basketball in the backyard. I felt like it could handle more of us Matthews men than it could football. But yeah, it got heated out there for sure. We definitely played basketball, but it was always a good time, especially when, our family got together with my Uncle Bruce and his kids. He's got 7 kids. So when we all got together, there was a lot of testosterone flying around, but we always have a great time when we get together.
You came out the victor most times, or what was it like for you?
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever lost. Now, don't check me on that, but I don't think we ever lost.
Hey, we don't have tape, so you're good. You're
Nice.
good. No tape. You're fine. I want to talk about that USC team you're on. Obviously, you were a redshirt the 04 year, but with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, one of the greatest teams in the history of college football. I wanted to know your thoughts on how the NIL landscape now currently sits. Would that have even been possible in 04 to create such a super team? Or now with NIL, are we going to see more and more, I guess, individual players going to other schools like that?
I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see teams, especially the better teams, borrowing, for lack of a better term, quarterbacks year in and year out. However you feel about it, I think it's great for the athletes to be able to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. It has created some concerns moving forward, and there needs to be some sort of regulation. I think we all agree on that. Yeah. But if I'm just going to kind of steal the narrative of this question, and I look back at my career at USC, like you had mentioned, redshirting my freshman year, staying all 5 years, that's what made me the player who I am today. And you can't help but think about the future of these athletes coming out when times get hard or money's not good and you're jumping and moving around. It's hard to build that locker room, but it's also hard to build individuals. And so it's hard to tell when, these NFL GMs are drafting players, if that's a red flag. Is that just somebody being business savvy? I'm kind of, just watching and waiting. I don't know what that means, but for me, I know I wouldn't have been the player I was if I had the capability. Now, I didn't, but if I had the capability to kind of jump around and chase the dollar, and they absolutely should have the right to do that. But, there is something to be said about somebody grinding it out and becoming a man through the school of hard knocks, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's the wild, wild west right now. In a couple of years, we might have some regulations, but right now it's insane out there.
Yeah.
I've never been to Lambeau. Okay, so I'm from Kansas City. I've yet to go to Lambeau, yet to go to Green Bay. Obviously, the draft is in Green Bay. What makes Green Bay and Lambeau specifically so special?
Well, first, I'm going to give you the cliche answer and say, well, you got to come out here and check it out, and then you'll understand why. But I think what's even more remarkable about it is you take the 41 North up from Milwaukee, wherever you're at, and you exit Lombardi Ave. You drive down about a mile, and there's Lambeau Field, which can house 80,000+ fans. And then on top of that, it backs up to the homes. But everywhere is monuments of guys like Vince Lombardi and Reggie White, Brett Favre, obviously soon to be Aaron Rodgers. And you think about the history of the Green Bay Packers and what they represent. If Dallas is America's team, then Green Bay is the antithesis of that, and that they represent blue collar, small town. The fans are behind them. I think that's why there's so much love for the Buffalo fans, when they rally behind their team. So just something special about it, the history of the Packers, small town, and how much success they've had throughout the decades, really.
Yeah, I know I need to get up there. I was hoping to go for the NFL draft this year, wasn't able to make it. So I got to go up to a game sometime to really experience Lambeau. You mentioned Rodgers there just really quickly. Was he always that out there back even when you were playing with him? Or is this more of as he's aged in the NFL, he's gone a little more...
Aging like fine wine. I guess we were texting the other night. Nothing about football. He keeps that close to the vest, as he should. But just from watching him last year, I thought he still could throw it. I thought that, watching the Jets team, that was the most Jets football I had ever watched. It was tough to watch, but he was still playing well. And it's funny when you look at his stats at the end of the year, you're like, wow, this, at 40, whatever it is, he's still slinging the ball. So if you can get him, you look at Pittsburgh, you can get him a playoff, a good defense, some linemen to block for him and some receivers who can catch the ball and a running game, then, I mean, they're right there in contention. So I don't know what that means moving forward for him. I support whatever decision he makes, but shoot, he's a 4-time NFL MVP, has done it all. If he wants to hang it up, bravo. If he wants to keep going, more power to him.
Yeah, before I let you go, final one, I just always found this funny. Pitch Perfect 2, doing a cappella in that. You're used to being the focal point on the NFL field, and all of a sudden you're doing this. What was that experience like?
It was so much fun. Just to give you a little bit of the backstory, I think our offensive linemen at the time, Josh Sitton, TJ Lang, David Bakhtiar, were such Pitch Perfect fans. And they would always tweet at the actors within that movie. And somehow through a DM, it got back to that they were producing Pitch Perfect 2 and they wanted the Packers to be in. I thought, no way this was happening. They sent over a script and we were written in there, and there was quite a few pages, but it was a blast. We went down there to Louisiana. We were so out of our comfort zone singing Bootylicious or whatever it was. But I get more people coming up to me now saying, oh, I loved your work in Pitch Perfect than I do what I did at Lambeau Field, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Oh, man, that is awesome. And speaking of awesome, that is Lowe's, what they have designed again for the draft green room experience. Cigar lounges, it's going to be luxury, a refined, rustic aesthetic. I'm jealous I'm not there. I wish I was good enough to make it to the NFL and be drafted in the first round just for the Lowe's green room.
Yeah, no, it's remarkable. And don't worry, if you're not here, there'll be plenty of cameras to pick it up. You know how it goes, nonstop coverage. But yeah, this is truly remarkable being in here right now. Just, kind of kicking myself. Maybe in 2009, I didn't take advantage of this. But nonetheless, this is remarkable. Hopefully everybody, if you didn't make it here, watching from home, appreciates all the work that's been put in this weekend.
Shout out Lowe's, shout out Green Bay, and again, Lowe's donating the products to Habitat for Humanity International following the draft. Very, very cool. Clay Matthews, man, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.